how you can contribute. As you know, Tempo Africa is a station that services people of African descent and people in America, people in Africa. It's all over the globe. And for us to do that, we are always accepting donations. To donate, you can go to the website at tempoafrictv.com, and then you click on the home page and then click on PayPal donation, and you can make your donation there. You could also call in and make a donation. The number is 612-804-0295. I cannot tell you how grateful we are for your donation. Please take the time and check out the website and feel free to donate to this wonderful service that Tempo Africa continues to offer us abroad and at home. All this information is on the website. Just go to tempoafrictv.com and you will get more information. Thank you very much.
C'est encore Yves Kenao, c'est toujours Yves Kenao qui revient. Cette fois-ci, pour vous dire que Tempo Afrique TV vous offre plus de 4000 chaînes de télévision. Les chaînes européennes, les chaînes américaines, les chaînes asiatiques, les chaînes africaines. À un prix imbattable. À un prix imbattable. Tenez-vous bien. $185 pour 12 mois, inclus le box. Alors, où est-ce que vous pouvez trouver mieux que ça si ce n'est pas sur Tempo Afrique TV? Mesdames, Messieurs, appelez seulement le 612 804 0295 et vous serez servi. Vous serez agréablement surpris de voir plus de 4000 chaînes de télévision rouler sur votre écran comme ça et vous choisissez laquelle vous voulez. Alors mesdames, n'hésitez pas. N'hésitez surtout pas et ne faites pas compter. Prenez votre téléphone, prenez-le tout de suite et appelez le 612, le 804, le 02 95. Nous sommes là, ici à Tempo TV, pour rendre votre vie simple et agréable. Alors, saisissez l'occasion. $185 pour toute une année, pour 12 mois, inclus le box. Quoi de mieux que ça?
Hello everyone, welcome to another Saturday evening with Ellie Naimal talk show at Tempo Africa TV. So, today we have a very special guest that is very well known in the Minneapolis community, whole entirely Minnesota. So, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys will recognize who it is. He is a very well known person who does personal training. He also has his own platform in training and helping others with their fitness and all that other things that they need for their health. Now, not only that, he is also a very well-known actor and a model here in Minneapolis as well. So he has worked with a lot of fashionista in the industry and a lot of the events. So some of the Minnesota fashionista, you guys probably recognize him and know who this man is. And not only that, he is also a community activist. So this is where it caught my attention to bring him on the show today. So we're going to talk about the corruption in Africa. So he had put on a live stream last couple weeks ago, maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, and spoke very, very bold on the corruption that is going on in Africa right now. So I know you don't get that news that often, but Tempo Africa here is going to go ahead and talk about that and share some of those that are going on in Africa with the leadership and also the democracy that are taking place. So with everything that you guys are kind of seeing unfolding here in the United States, it is also going on in other side of the world as well. So Kamara is definitely the perfect guy that I'm going to be interviewing today and ask him a few questions on what is going on in Africa as well. And he is also a very well knowledgeable guy who speaks his mind. So this live stream, he was pretty bold and said it from his heart. So he's going to explain to us how that fire came along to be a more activist for the African community. And also he is a very passionate father, a father of a daughter and a son. I believe one is currently in college right now, and the other one is in high school. So, but he's going to give you guys more details, so I'm going to let him introduce himself to you guys a little bit more on anything that I did not touch base on. So we're going to welcome on Amara Kamara. Amara, thanks for coming.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure to meet you. Yeah, like you said, I've been knowing you for how many years now? I think maybe about close to 10 years, in the modeling industry. And
you've been in it for a minute.
Yeah, I know. but I'm surprised, and I was very happy that you also not only your model, but you have passion for about the country in Africa and also kids in Africa. Because I saw you when I went to Winona. When you show your
oh yeah, that's right.
It was a
the
charity,
Ebony Fashion.
Yeah, it was a charity event and stuff like that, And I was very excited to see you doing stuff like that, and I'm also excited that you do a live stream show, and So when you asked me to come, I was so happy to be here. So to those of you that don't know me, like Amara said, I've been in the city here since 2000. Since 2000, I came from New York. So about 20 years I've been in the city of Minneapolis. And I worked for Lifetime for a while, and then I worked for when I first came. Bali was stay here. Bali Total Fitness was here. He stayed in town here, so I worked there for them for a little bit, and then transferred to Lifetime Fitness, and then a friend of mine and I started some business called Essential for Fitness. Yantu Bolo invited me to come to his studio, and from there I started building myself up to become my own entrepreneur, personal trainer, and that was the best thing I ever did for myself and my family. I'm a man. I believe in group principles. I believe that when people work for you, you should treat them nice. And I wasn't getting that from Lifestyle as a whole, and so it was best for me to get on my own. And I'm glad that I did that. The most difficult thing here is to introduce yourself. It's always the most difficult thing. Yeah. So, but as we go,
do a lot of people ask you how old you are?
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I think a lot of people know how I am, so I'm not going to say that. If my daughter is 18 years old, she's in college, and I have a 16-year-old boy. And
they're still pretty young.
Yeah. So I'm over 50. I'll just say I'm over 50. And it surprises
me. At least we have an idea.
Yeah, but it's funny because when I was in college, and most of those guys that were in my class were very, very young. And so we go to the study hall, and all these kids would be playing with each other. And some of them will wrestle and will kick my butt. Kicking my butt.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and then one of them knew that. Hey, you know how old Amara is? That dude is way older than everybody. He's even older than one. Because when I graduated from high school, I didn't go to college right away. I worked. I moved from Liberia, where I was born, and went to Guinea after I graduated from high school. Just before I went to college, that was 1989.
It's funny, I never asked where you're from in my life. All this time
I'm from Liberia. So just before I went to college, that was 1989, my father said to go to the diamond mine and to take care of his mining business. And so I didn't have much to say, but then he said, just for 1 year. I want you to be able to work just for 1 year, go learn how to work, and then get back to college. So when I went back there, to the mining, and I decided to just leave the mining and just run from my dad. I didn't want to deal with him, so I just packed my clothes, and the next thing you heard, I was in Guinea. I left all the mining business with him and went to Guinea, and that's where my life started from. So I'm started so far so we can start the conversation.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've been really involved a lot in the Minnesota communities as far as fashion and activists and things like that. And I know you and Richard Moody go way back, and you guys are like brothers.
We like brothers. We like brothers. He
That's how I see you guys. Like, I could never see Richard without Amara in a way, and Amara without Richard in a way. Yeah.
Well, he cracks a lot of jokes with me, so I like that. You know, he cracks a lot of jokes. You know, and I really love Richard because and the thing here is that these are some of the things we're going to talk about too. I hope we could talk about it in the city, whole city of Minneapolis. It's almost like the only know one good black man, which is Richard Moody.
Yes.
You know, so he's everywhere and he's presenting himself everywhere. It's like there's so many black men in the city that can do a lot of things like Richard can do, and he always tells them that I am not the only black man here. There are other black people you can reach out to. Yeah, but the city or the media just look at Richard Moody as one. And when I first met Richard, it was at some fashion show, and then he gave me his card, and I called him. And the next time I was in one of his fashion shows, you know, and because he asked my few models, I said, I did some modeling in New York, and then when I was in New Orleans, so right away, you know, we kick it off, and I started, you know, working with him. I am Moody. You know, his fashion, and then I started doing some freelance modeling in town here and all that. But I just decided to not to do it anymore.
To be honest, I call you guys the great men of Minnesota.
But we did a fashion show together. Remember? The how do you call it? What was the show? It was the big African show. That's when I first saw you. You know.
Was it an African show?
It was an African show. What's it
African
called?
Fashion Week?
Yeah, it was they had this name for it, and Richard Moody and
so they did it that 1 year, and then they never came back again for another annual.
Yeah, because I was there helping those
international
fashion expose.
Thank you.
You and I were there because you were teaching the girls how to walk, and I was teaching the guys how to walk. You remember that?
Oh my God, that was so amazing. I was so disappointed that it did not happen again.
I know, I did never. It picked us so well. It was really good, and then it just cut off. And I was frustrated. I was like, wow, this thing started good. And then all of a sudden, the following year, it didn't happen. You know, kind of like Africa right now we're going to talk about.
Because like honestly, being one of those, you know, African children in the fashion industry here, it's like when you see an African leader establishing something so wonderful that would represent or bring Africa up, you know, in the fashion community, I would get so excited, and the next year is not there again.
I know.
It's a huge disappointment.
It's a disappointment. You know.
It made me wonder, like, what's going on behind the scenes that they can't keep up.
That's the whole thing, you know. Because the thing is like, but most Africans, they like fast money. They don't know how to build empire. You have to learn how to build empire. You don't go into something with the expectation of having a big profit right at this moment, at this time.
Yes.
And once they don't get that, it set them backward. And they sort of now want to go because they feel like they spend their money and they didn't get that money back. And to build an empire, to build a business, you have to have overhead. You have to understand that, all right, I'm going to this business. I know it's going to take me a long time to be able to get what I want.
And you think that's the expectation they would go in.
So you should expect that it's going to be expensive. There are times you're going to have to go around or look at your last money and scrape it off just because you are trying to build an empire. Then over a period of time, it's going to build. But Africans, most of us, we don't do that. By the time we start something, that's what I like about it. By the time we start something, it doesn't work quick. But you, since you started your fashion business, no, I really admire you because
right after I don't know what happened with Tekken, I was like, fine, I'm gonna do designing.
Yeah, exactly, but you've been very consistent though. You've been consistent. Like the last one I went to, I mean, you don't have that much money to put into it, but you're being very consistent and pushing it and just going. And you are such a great designer. I really love your clothing, you know.
Thank you.
And you've been going at it every year. You've been going at it. You know, you stay, do your thing, and you sponsor yourself and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Other people don't do that. I wish all Africans can be able to do that because that particular fashion show, if they would have continued, it would have been one of the biggest African fashion shows in the United States.
Yes.
It was really good.
Yeah.
It was well organized. Richard Moody was there, and this guy from that time, Project Runway just started. What's his name from Minnesota here? He came
Christopher?
Christopher, Christopher, he came there as one of the special guests, and he loved it.
Yeah.
And he even actually...
I remember him coming on there,
You know, and he was willing to like put his ideas into it to grow it, and then all of a sudden, it disappeared. They never do it the next year again.
Wow.
Because they felt like they spent a little bit of money. They didn't get, how much money you didn't get? Maybe you lost $300 and that's all you're going to quit.
Yeah.
And that's business. That's business. You got to keep going,
Our Africans, so much potential.
Yeah, so much potential.
So much potential.
It's almost like it's in our blood from Africa.
Yeah.
African leaders,
Wow. So now we know that we're affected in the United States as well as African leaders, trying to eliminate corruptions as well. So last week you had a live stream, so let's jump on to that.
No problem.
So in your live stream, you were on fire.
I was on fire, man. I was on fire. Well, I'm like that, when I'm passionate about something, I will use, profanity sometimes, because sometimes, that's why I love the word F.
Yeah.
The F word is one of my best. It's one of the best language. It's one of the best language English.
My ear explodes every time you say that, but I'm like, it's funny.
You can use it to praise somebody. You can use it to love somebody. You can use it to insult somebody. It goes both ways. Like, in the basketball, when somebody shoot the ball, it's like, man, that was fucking good.
I see what you mean, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then when you get mad with somebody like, fuck you, use that word. So I'm like, man, this word is incredible. So
I never heard you speak like that, so I was really caught off guard, So I sat there and I was like a stone just listening to the whole entire live stream,
Yeah.
And I try to observe every little word that you were saying, because this is the first time I'm hearing a lot of the corruptions that are happening in West Africa.
Yeah.
I usually hear a little here and there, but I never really understood what is going on in West Africa.
Well, I mean, the corruption in general is entire African nations. And it starts from us, the people ourselves in Africa.
Yeah.
And corruption has been normalized such a way that even the citizens that are calling the leaders corrupt, they are corrupt. They themselves are corrupt. Because if you, they themselves are corrupt. They themselves condone corruption. They act.
Wow.
And I will give you an example of it. Because everybody wants to cut corners, and so bribery. So if I have to bribe you, Namon, even if you didn't ask for it, but I just like, can you sign my document? Can you sign this document for me quickly? Yeah. And I know that because let's say you have to sign a document. Let me give you an example for passport. Let me give you an example. Passport. All right. I go and I want passport, okay? And I know you gotta sign the passport something. But I come over there and I know there's other people who passport is there before me because it's based on first come first serve.
But instead you're taking that one ahead.
I want mine to be there first. I want mine. Okay. I want you to sign mine so I can get it quicker than the other people. So I got money, the other people don't have money. So I come in and I bribe you. I said, no, come on, man, you can sign my paper. I want this thing quickly, man. And you really don't want to do it, but then I take the money and give it to you like $500, something like that. Come on, for $5 to sign it. Now sign the paper. Then because now your people come on top. Then you are corrupt because you are a, but I initiated the corruption because I pay you money to take my people first to do it. So people forget exactly. We the people, Africans, forget themselves. The citizens forget themselves that they themselves are the one creating corruption in the government. If everybody just say, you know what, I am not paying this guy for anything, I'm not going to give you anything, that's his responsibility, that's his job. He needs to sign, he needs to do his job. I'm not giving you anything. If I'm not giving you anything to do anything, you're going to do the job right.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are some of the things that is happening in Africa, not only in Africa, West Africa, but all the African region.
Yes.
And so the citizens plus the government, they are all corrupt. And how do you fix that? That is the most difficult thing. So if leaders...
I wonder that too, like how would you fix it?
How do you fix it? Well, if leaders, if you are a leader, it is your responsibility to be able to fix that. And that's what I blame leaders.
Rules.
I blame leaders because I know the problem. And I can't involve that I want to be president, I want to lead you guys, I want to fix this country, but I know the problem. But now I explain all of this, and then I get into power. Then I don't implement all these rules and all these things I put in my platform, and I become the most corrupt person as well. So that is why I was blaming this president. I was mad at him because he got elected in his country. 75% of the population voted for him because Abike Ibrahim Boubacar Keita, or whatever his name is.
Yes.
He was the most serving official in the Malian government. He served at all levels. He was different.
And how long has this man reigned in his presidency?
I think he was there for 7 years. He went for 4 years. I mean, he went for I think 4 to 6 years they could do it. And then I think 5 years, something like that. He was supposed to after his first year, he got elected unanimously. Like 75% of the population voted for him because they love him. They feel like he's working in all areas of the government. He has the experience, so we're gonna vote for him. He's educated. He's gonna do well for all. Look at all these positions he has served us. So they voted for him. 75% of the population was democratically elected. Very good election. Now his second. Now when he got there, everything he promised the people, he didn't do nothing. Corruption was going up. Sex trafficking is high in Mali. There's a lot of border, penetration, people bringing in drugs and all kind of stuff. So it's a lot of people. The last time people went in the mosque and killed, he doesn't do anything. So it's like, okay, this guy, we elected him democratically. He did 75% of the population, but he's not living up to his dream. I mean, what he said. So we're not going to vote for him. But then what he did, he rigged.
So it sounds like people had the hope on him.
Yeah, and then he got there, he didn't do nothing.
And just failed the people.
And then he rigged the election, the second term. He never got elected, so he rigged the election and put himself there.
Oh.
Yeah, and
forcefully.
Rigged the elections, and so he became for the second term. And while he was there, and all these killing that happened now got the people really upset, and uprising. They stood up. So if the citizens, because the argument I had with my friends here was that, he was elected democratically, so they should wait for his term and take the angles to the poll. Yes, they're gonna do that. But how do you wait for somebody who is allowing killings and all that stuff going on in the country for another 3 or 4 years?
Yeah.
You can't do that. So if the masses of the country, because democracy is government by the people, for the people, and of the people. So if those same people come out, we elected you, this is democracy, it's by us. So we're going to remove you. We want you to step down. There's no impeachment in that. There's no say, I'm going to wait for my term to finish. The people that elected you, they are in number. They say, we don't want you, get down. And I think Boubacar, he was smart enough and he resigned. They told him, we want you to resign.
Yeah.
We want you to resign and, right now, because you're not doing the thing you want to do.
And that's currently happening right now.
Yeah, and so he had to resign by force. So he resigned, and he then said that all of my cabinet and everybody else that came with me, that I put into position, I immediately resigned, as well. Then kind of like fire everybody as well. So they all kind of resigned. And then people are saying it's a coup d'etat, but the people of Mali are calling it a resignation. He was forced to resign. It's kind of like in America. Like if I've seen where in the American government I ask people to resign, they ask certain people to resign your position. Like the CIA director or whatever his name was. Trump asked him to resign his position and resign. It's the same thing. Yeah. So you don't do your job, and they ask you to take him to the bar and say resign. So
is he fighting that resignation right now, or
no? He has to. He resigned. It was ECOWAS, Economic Community of West African States, and AU, African Unity, coming up to say that they must allow him to to finish his term and stuff like that.
Yeah.
ECOWAS has done nothing for Africa. They are the same corrupt people. They have to say that to make themselves look like they are saying something. But the suffering of Africa today, I blame ECOWAS as well, and I blame AU, the African Unity. I mean, they are not doing anything for Africa to grow. They're not doing anything when it comes to the growing of Africa. All of the money they're getting, they're putting everything in their pocket. So it's almost seems like they put puppets.
That's what I'm about to get to next.
Yeah.
So for them to keep on the leadership, and they're not doing anything for the people, and the people are suffering, they're starving, what are they doing themselves in those leadership? Like, what exactly is behind their agenda or their regimes? Do they just like the wealth and they want to sit on it, or?
African leaders it's almost like they feed the fear of if I don't feel in my pocket, if I leave presidency, I'm gonna be broke.
Oh, okay, so they get controlled by the money.
Yeah, they get controlled by the money. So it's all about their wealth and everything. And the sad thing about it is that most of those money don't even get invested in Africa. They get invested in European country, in places like America and other places. And then when
that's what a lot of young people question.
Yeah, they get invested. But at least if you're stealing, but your money is being used to invest in that place, that's good. Yeah, that's the difference between this guy here, the African president from Guinea, Alpha Conde. He's corrupt, but you know what he's doing with his money? I mean, I know he's got some money outside, but he's using the money to build the house, the hotels, and everything. Even though he's benefiting, but he's trying to beautify his country. But even though the building is not going to benefit the people, but it's just going to, the city's just going to look beautiful. Yeah,
so it's a sneaky way of saying I'm going to have to risk people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he actually, with his corruption, he's got more supporter because you know what? Even though people are poor, they are broke, they know that he's corrupt, but they like the fact that he's constructing. So
oh my God, I'm so glad you brought this up because that's my biggest frustration, because it's like when you have an economy that does not balance with the citizens that are living there, how do the citizens survive? When I see, like for example in Ethiopia, there was this area, it was very well constructed, the condominiums with like a gate and a security gate. It's luxury condos, and I said, who's going to live there? Who's going to rent those places?
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the frustrating part because I was in Guinea, from 1989 up to 1992 because I came here in 94. I was there, and all of the young guys that were there, they were all in college. They all went to school. Yeah. Graduated, no job. And up to this day, that is the only thing that everybody just go to school. But some of those people that graduated, it been about 20, 28 years now, they have not even worked a job that caused that
graduated there in Africa.
Yeah. They have never got a job in their life. So they graduated 28 years ago. Imagine. Yes. I graduated as an engineer, but I have not worked in my life not for one day. Everything that I learned is gonna disappear. Because if you learn, you're not using your education, you're gonna lost it. It would be a miracle that some of these guys graduated 28 years ago and they have not been able to apply what they learned, and all they do is go sit down around the table and boil that's called hatai. You know what hatai? They call it. It's like a tea. All over Africa, people do it. They boil those tea, they put in the teacup, and everybody drink tea. They sit down around.
Oh yeah.
They
do that.
Yeah, that's what they do. Everywhere you go in Africa, that's what people do. All the young guys just sit down, they boil tea. They just and then you'll be surprised that you'll be surprised to know that they are all educated, all college graduate, but there's no job. There's absolutely no job.
I saw that a lot on most of my trips to Ethiopia. I saw that a lot. Yeah. When I go to the offices, immigrations, government related, all of those higher jobs, all you see mostly is the elder who probably are ready for retirement, sitting in those chairs.
Yep, that's how it is.
And when you have like younger generations who just graduated, and I asked them, why don't you get a job? Why can't you get a job? Of course, they explained to me how complicated it is, but it's hard for them to explain it too. Yeah. So I kind of had to learn and read between the lines.
Yeah. It's very, very difficult. It's very, very frustrating because Africa is a rich nation. Itself, resources, have lots of resources, and besides that, U.S. government, everything, get about 50 billion floating over Africa every year. I mean, 50 billion. The record. This is the record from AU, not from me. This is from AU himself. AU. Yes. 50 billion floating over Africa every year, and with their resources on top of that, but then you get 43% of the population living in poverty. And why? Because this money that they give them, they are not using it to help the people that need the help. they are just putting everything in their pocket.
Yeah.
Now, how can a country get out of poverty when you have the leaders all corrupt? And the most frustrating part here is that some of those people that are in abroad here to do their educations and then use like, oh, this guy's gonna grade. He has a lot of experience coming from abroad. He's gonna do X, Y, and Z. And then when they go there, they tend to be the most corrupt. It's almost like African leader when they sit in that seat. There's something that just attached them.
They attach to it. The only thing that will get them off is death do them apart. Death do them apart.
It's like when you sit down there, I'm almost like, well, what are these? What is going on?
You know, it reminds me in the beginning of the pandemic, Nigeria, their president had coronavirus, and he went missing.
Yeah.
The people didn't show any empathy.
No.
So they wanted to find out if he was dead or alive.
Alive, yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it's true.
And that's a shame. So you have this respectful role to be a leader, to run the country. You're supposed to be respected and honored by your people.
Exactly.
But instead, they're shaming you.
They're shaming you.
Yeah.
Because people are tired of the rulers, the way the people are tired of the African rulers. I mean, like I don't know.
Don't they feel ashamed themselves?
They got no shame, because if I'm ashamed of myself, I will try to do something for my people.
Yes.
Look at Jerry Rawlings. You know, when Jerry Rawlings for Ghana, when he came there, you know, he was very, very tough. You know, and because he came with the mindset of, I'm gonna fix my country no matter what.
Thank you.
You know,
Yeah.
and he stuck to what he believed in, and there was a lot of things people were saying about him. But today, Gary Rawlings is so respected in Ghana because he put the country on the right path, and that country is growing so much. You don't hear about any corruption. The Ghanaians are advanced in West Africa. It's one of the West African countries that has slowly advanced, catching up to Senegal.
That's where a lot of Black Americans go to too.
Yeah. Catching up to Senegal and all the people speak, because Senegal is being advanced in the democracy in Senegal is great. You know, they might have some corruption, but they develop. You know, they do things systematically and all those things. And Nigeria is too, even though Nigeria has a lot of corruption, but it's developed. You know, it's a little bit developed. It's a little bit better than other people.
The corruption have reached the American policies too.
But Ghana is kind of like leading the role right now for how people should take example from how Africa is supposed to look like. Now, like I said, most African Americans are going to Ghana because Ghana have a thing now where if you're African American and if you want to move to Africa, they make you become citizen. You know, you get there and they give you citizenship, and all that doing it is bring economics to the country. So a lot of African American business people are moving to, Ghana. So why would I want to go to another African country when I can go to this country that make me citizen?
Yes.
So that means I can participate. I can be a leader if I want to. I can be a president if I want to.
Really?
So
even though you weren't born there.
No, even though you were not born there, they have that right. They have that right right now. And so a lot of them are moving. Yes, some of them are done. They are moving to Ghana. A lot of them have got businesses in Ghana. In fact, I was reading a book about an African American guy that moved to Ghana the moment Trump got into power. He said the moment Trump got into power, he and his wife, they said, that's it for us. They took their belonging and they moved. And the guy was teaching at the university, and he's trying to become somebody in the Ghanaian government right now.
Yes.
And he was established. He explained that first when they went there, it was difficult for them because people in Africa have the mindset, whether you're black or white, but once you come from America, even with us, they do it all, let alone African Americans. So they treat you like white person. Oh, he's got money, he's different, Yeah, he's got this and that. So he felt that a little bit. He's like, this is weird. Why people are uplifting me